Hello guys, it's Janki. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll see whether I'll reread a book or rewrite it or burn it. So what I'll be doing is, I have this beautiful cup. I'll pick out 3 chits and I'll reread one. I'll rewrite the other and the third one I'll burn. And I have to decide which one to reread, rewrite and burn. So it should be fun, so let's begin. So these are mostly the books I've read from previous and this year. So yeah, 3 chits. The first chit says A Gentleman in Moscow. Okay. The second chit says Eliza and Her Monsters. And the third chit says The Hand on the Wall. So, A Gentleman in Moscow is a historical fiction, Eliza and Her Monsters is a contemporary, and The Hand on the Wall is mystery. So, 3 different genres. So, out of the 3, I'll reread The Hand on the Wall, which is the third and final book in this truly devious series, because I like it better than the rest too. I'll rewrite A Gentleman in Moscow. It was quite boring, so I'll probably rewrite and make it a little fast-paced and interesting. And the third one, which is Eliza and Her Monsters, I'll burn it because I didn't like it. So the next round goes, and I have 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So the first chit says 3 Dark Crowns. It's by Kendall Blake. The next one is Lovely War by Julie Berry. And the last one is Winner's Curse by Mary something. I don't remember. Okay. So, out of the 3, this is difficult. 3 Dark Crowns is YA fantasy, Lovely War is historical fiction, and Winner's Curse is again YA fantasy. So I like 3 Dark Crowns. I also like Lovely War. I'll rewrite Lovely War so that I can include more of the part wherein we get the Greek gods. That's done. I'll reread 3 Dark Crowns. I love it. And I'll have to burn Winner's Curse. It's not that bad. I liked it. It was an okay read, but I have no other option. So let's burn it. The next round. So we have Serpent and Dove by Shelby Maureen, The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Yeah. So the Guest List is a thriller, Serpent and Dove is a YA fantasy, and Midnight Library is fiction. And out of the 3, I'll probably reread Midnight Library because I'll for sure not burn this, and there's no point in rewriting it because I think the author does a very good job at covering all the possibilities that could have been in the book. So Midnight Library, reread. Serpent and Dove and The Guest List. I'll rewrite Serpent and Dove and I'll burn The Guest List. Guest List was bullshit. Done. So, next round. Okay. First I have Ninth House by Lida Bardugo. The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and Recursion by Blake Crouch. So I'm totally burning The Name of the Wind. But then I'm 9,000 Recursion, both were at the same level, I think. 9,000 is an adult fantasy and Recursion is sci-fi thriller. I'll rewrite Recursion because there was a point when I was reading this book that it felt so repetitive and redundant. So I'll cure that mistake and I'll reread 9,000. Next set, The Lies of Loch Lamora by who wrote it? Scott Lynch. We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal, and The Clockmaker's Daughter by Kate Morton. So this is basically a revision for me as well because I haven't written the author's name in these, so good for me. So Lies of Loch Lamora is an adult fantasy. We Hunt the Flame, YA fantasy. The Clockmaker's Daughter, historical fiction. So I'll reread We Hunt the Flame, pure gold. I was so eager to read The Lies of Loch Lamora because last year, after completing the Six of Crows, I was searching for books with heist story in it and I came across The Lies of Loch Lamora. I saw booktuber's video where people talked about this and appreciated it, but when I read it, I was a little disappointed. And The Clockmaker's Daughter, I loved it, but which one? So okay, I'll rewrite The Clockmaker's Daughter because I'll rewrite The Clockmaker's Daughter. I'll make it a little shorter because it was dragging in between, and I'll burn The Lies of Loch Lamora and oh my god, it's quite a popular book, so burn it. Next set. The first book is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Do I even need to look at other? The second set is The Help by Catherine Stockett. Oh my god. And the third set is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. These are all my 5-star books. And this is thus far the most difficult set. So House of Earth and Blood is adult fantasy, The Help and The Nightingale is historical fiction. What will I do? And this is the what should I do? So listen me out. I'll do it step by step. I'll reread The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Now remains House of Earth and Blood and The Help. I don't want to burn either of them. I'll rewrite The Help by Catherine Stockett. I don't even have a reason to rewrite it, but since I'm left with these two amazing options, I'm thinking for a reason to rewrite it. And I can't find any, so I'll just simply rewrite The Help. And I'm extremely sorry, but I'll burn The House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. No offense. Next set. The first book is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. And the last book is Stillhouse Lake by Rachel Kane. So, One of Us is Lying and Stillhouse Lake, they both are thrillers. And The Darkest Mind is YA fantasy. I'll clearly burn The Darkest Minds. And I'll rewrite Stillhouse Lake to make it a little more gripping and page turning. And I'll reread One of Us is Lying because I've got nothing to change in it. Next set. So the first book we have is The Shadows Between Us by Tricia Levenseller. Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. Gillian or Gillian. And then we have Orphan Monster Spy by, I remember this, Matt Killeen. Yes. So, Orphan Monster Spy is historical fiction. Dark Places thriller. The Shadows Between Us YA fantasy. Different genres. I'll burn The Shadows Between Us. Garbage. I'll rewrite Orphan Monster Spy because I think it had a lot of potential to be a good book, and I feel I'll write it better. And I'll reread Dark Places. It was good. Not that good, but good. Next set. Yep. The first book is The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. The second book is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. And the third book is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. So The Turn of the Key and Truly Devious, they both are thrillers. And The Red Scrolls of Magic is YA fantasy. So out of the three, I'll reread Truly Devious. I'll rewrite The Red Scrolls of Magic because I expected much more from the Malik shipping, which is Magnus and Alec from the Shadowhunters world. And I'll burn The Turn of the Key. The Turn of the Key, I've heard most people say, is Ruth Ware's one of the best thrillers she's written. But it was quite okay for me, so I have no problem burning it. I'm just realizing it's how easily am I saying I'll burn this book, I'll not burn this book, I'll rewrite it as if I'm an expert in that, but just a game. The next set, I have The Poppy War. Then I have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. So The Poppy War was by Arif Kwong. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Victoria Schwab. And From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So, Invisible Life and Poppy War and Blood and Ash, they all are fantasy, adult fantasy. So The Poppy War was my favorite of the three books in that trilogy. I'll reread The Poppy War. It had a school setting, so why not? And From Blood and Ash, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I'll rewrite from Blood and Ash and make it a little less, what should I say, and make it a little less steamy. I mean, it was unnecessary at some point. So the rest of the plot I loved, but there was too much smut in some places where it could have been not. So yes, I'll rewrite from Blood and Ash. And again, an unpopular opinion here, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which people raved about. I was like, it's okay, it's not that great, so I'll burn The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. So we have our last round here. I'm not even counting, I was just seeing the timer and thinking how long the video will be, and I just said it's the last round. So we have The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, and All the Light We Cannot See by, wait, I remember, by Anthony Doerr. Yes. So, I'll burn The Cruel Prince. It's a YA fantasy. I'll obviously I'll reread Crooked Kingdom. And All the Light We Cannot See, I gave it a really low rating. I heard so many great things about this historical fiction, but I didn't like it at all. At the beginning it was like, oh, it's going to be a good start. We have two different POVs and oh, they'll come together in some way or the another. I just did not like how this book progressed. So I'll rewrite it and solve that problem. So yes. So that was all we had. And just a cup appreciation. We have Greek gods. So guys, that was all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Thank you for watching, and until next time.